Namaskar and a very warm welcome to today's knowledge session titled Transforming Citizen Experience Through Digital Technology. This program is brought to you by Elites Technomedia in partnership with WhatsApp India and Infobip. The objective of this program is to brainstorm upon and delve upon the latest current innovations which are happening in the field of power and water utilities. Power and water utilities are those sectors who are on the cusp of a true transformation. And these are the two sectors which are also in very demand because as the country is progressing, we are looking forward for a country which is marching, an aspirational India which is marching into the 21st century. The Prime Minister is calling about a new India, an India which is empowered by, which is enabled by the digital transformation. The Government of India's own Digital India mission envisages promotion and application of digital-based technologies in all spheres of activities, which has the power to catapult the life of an ordinary citizen. The power industry as well as the water. When we talk all of power, the more progressive the country is, the more economic growth the country witnesses, the more is going to be the consumption of power. Same is the case of water also. With the rising population, increasing pressure on the scarce resource, and water is a resource which is very scarce. In fact, it would not be wrong to say that the future war, if any, would be fought on the front of water. So the need of the hour is to conserve the water and also ensure its efficient and optimum utilization. So how can we leverage technology? How can we adopt technology? What are the current transformations in this sphere? And how can India's utility sector become more responsive, become more smart? Responsive and smart in the sense that they are able to anticipate the consumer demand and come out with effective technology-enabled solutions. This is the basic objective of today's webinar. Please join me welcoming a stream of panelists here from different power and water utilities from the length and breadth of the country. The flow of the program would be that initially our expert from the industry, Shraddha Thapa from Infobip, she will be running us through a short presentation on her solutions. Thereafter, we'll be having a fireside chat discussion with Chief Engineer Planning of Delhi Joint Board, and then we'll be having an interactive panel discussion on the topic transforming citizen experience through digital technology. So I invite Shraddha Thapa on the screen, please. A brief introduction about Shraddha. Shraddha is the Regional Head Government and OTT Partnership in Infobip. She has more than 14 years of organizational experience in messaging space. Currently, she is managing and assisting with new products for Infobip in the South Asian market, including India, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, and Nepal. Over to you, Shraddha.
Very warm good afternoon to everyone who has joined us in this post-lunch session. I know it is sleepy, so I will try to make it less, interesting for you, less boring. Because today we're going to talk about a sector which touches our life day in and day out. It is the utility sector. Water, electricity, these all are our basic necessities, and in what better way we can improvise the experience to make life better. Our parents usually, all our working population have their parents sitting somewhere else. So technology makes it a lot simpler for them to, ease out work, like, the basic necessities which pertains to water and power. In this presentation, I will take you through introduction, which is basically about Infobip, what we do, what have we done in this vertical, then key challenges that we have seen since we've had the experience of working with some of these organizations. We were the first ones to work on some of the power and some of the electricity vertical solutions. So we will be able to share our experience with our audience. And thirdly, we have some customer use cases for municipal corporations. We will just touch upon that, and power and water supply department. Then we have some case studies to follow up. Talking about Infobip, Infobip is a global leader in omni-channel communication. We have, a wide coverage because we cover almost 190 countries, and we have 700 direct operators. We manage traffic up to 24 billion, more than 24 billion monthly transactions. Having said that, our approach, although we are a global organization, our approach has always been that, we always want to feel what the local requirement is, what the local feel is. So always the approach is like, local presence is required to understand the ground level realities and ground level problems of businesses and to help them overcome. The success formula for business messaging, it's very simple. There is no doubt that WhatsApp is one of the preferred channels these days. With more than 700 million subscribers, WhatsApp easily is the simplest and most effective channel to reach out to your customers, whether it is internal or external. And as a person also, I experience day in, day out, businesses are moving to WhatsApp as a channel because it's very convenient. People wake up to WhatsApp, so it's even more convenient when simple things like your bill payment for electricity, your bill payment for other utilities can happen over WhatsApp. So this is what we are trying to do. We are trying to make life simple for consumers. We are trying to help businesses reach out to their consumers in simplest possible way. And while we are doing these, we have in-house team of professional services who help design solutions which are best fitted for business. They will create best of journeys for consumers, and they will create simple journeys because we understand a utility sector audience could be a little different. They may not be Gen Z. They could be our parents sitting in a smaller city, tier A city, and then they're trying to do something. So the whole experience should be as per the customer base. So our effort, our professional services, they have CX consultancies to make the best of journeys according to the users that every vertical has. Apart from that, our customer services are across, they are round the clock, and we've been awarded accordingly for continuously, from 2017 to 2021 for A2P business. So this speaks about our commitment towards business. Again, a bit about Infobip before I move to the actual use cases. The experience that we want to provide is very simple. It should be easy onboarding for organizations. We give a host of we give a host of services. We have a full stack application and everything is in-house, which means if the channel is WhatsApp, then we have our full stack solution. We'll have our we'll have a chat bot which we call Answers. We'll have a live agent contact center which we call Conversations, and our marketing automation tool, which is called Moment. So with all this together, we can give a full end-to-end customer journey, which are sitting on these solutions. And of course, we have experts sitting in the organization for every vertical to give you the best of journeys and the expertise to make these solutions a success. Last but not the least, security when it comes to government or any banking or government or any similar domain, that's where we specialize. Since we are a global organization, all the security measures, all the certifications have been secured in order to make this experience not only user friendly but secure from business point of view. So I've talked about a bit as an organization. Now moving to the solutions that we do. Now with government, we've had the opportunity to work with some of the organizations like Municipal Corporation of Mumbai, BMC, some power companies. We are currently collaborating with Delhi Jal Board on WhatsApp grievance use case. So here I'll just elaborate furthermore. So these are very interesting use cases because during pandemic, what we realized is people, because they were unable to move out, they wanted everything at the convenience, at their convenience. So if one was easily able to make online payment, I will not about WhatsApp only, any online payment, so it made life easy. Similarly, if they were able to do it via someone's app, like if we were able to order grocery, then it makes life, easier for us. So all this kind of emerged during pandemic, when we all realized that there is a need for these channels, online channels, where people don't have to really walk in, and they can do all these transactions in their comfort of their homes, not having to step out. So that's been our agenda also, to make the whole solution very simple and easy. Now, talking about government vertical, one would not imagine, but we have really had the opportunity to work with government organization, and we've seen that especially PSUs and other government organizations have been taking great steps in order to make all the digitization of their digitization more seriously. And from this, how we can help is, we've seen that PSUs have completely gone digital now. They're just talking about online channels, because they are moving with times, in fact ahead of times. So whatever mobile technologies, whether it is an app or a WhatsApp chatbot or a live chatbot on their website, you will always see that all of this is available on all the major organizations. So that's why we're here, to make all these services easily available. Moving to municipal corporation, I will breeze through this. We've had the pleasure of working with BMC, which has more than 85 use cases. Now, the simple idea is, like, BMC is an organization. There are millions of people who are availing these services. So how do we, how does the chatbot help the end customer? So for very simple things like, if there is a pothole, if somebody wants to report, how can we make it easier? So the easiest way is, we have a mobile in our hands every day, every time. So we just click a picture, open the BMC chatbot, upload. We are integrated into the system, so it is as good as picking up a call or actually visiting the BMC premise to lodge a complaint. Similarly, very important notifications can be sent out. Like these days, we've seen that if, for example, in Maharashtra, Ganpati Puja is going on, there are roadblocks, there are these processions happening. So one can send notifications of to avoid which route and which route to take. So these are very interesting solutions that the government organizations have thought of in to make their consumers very happy and make their life very simple and convenient, because they don't have to come to their BMC office and stand in queue and then register their complaint. Then there are other very simple use cases like pay bills. Now it's no brainer that we've seen different apps. We just purchase something, pay the amount then and there, make the transaction, and we leave the journey. So similar is the experience on WhatsApp. We can actually do all this, pay our property tax, pay our water tax without having to step out, and the invoice will be on the handset in your WhatsApp chat. At any time you can actually access that, because in our interaction with these organizations, what we've seen is people don't pay bill because they claim that they have not received the physical invoice, or they have some issue with the invoice. So they find it difficult to pay because they have not received the invoice. So to tackle this situation, simple things like a duplicate bill, simple things like pay your bill over WhatsApp have been made available. These services are available on chatbot, so that user at any point can query on their bill if they think that bill is inaccurate, overcharged or undercharged, or for the simple reason that they have not received the invoice. So these use cases have actually, we've had feedback from organizations that there is great conversion, because they see a lot of people making payments over WhatsApp. They feel that people are paying on time now, because you get the bill at the right time when you have to pay. So it's good for the citizens as well as these organizations. Briefly, while I run this video, municipal corporation, the chatbot looks like this. We can make language selection, because these days vernacular languages have a great potential. We see that we see that person in Maharashtra would find it way easier to access something which is in Marathi. So hence our effort is to always make it, make the chatbot as convenient for the local people where the chatbot is made available. And simple things like, reporting pothole by sharing live location is made available. Similarly, property tax certificate example is there where, like I mentioned, like all the payments can be made over the chatbot itself, and there is birth and death registration. Just to, similar use cases can be done for power as well as, water supply, where bill payment is made, grievance made. So in all, I will just breeze through this to stop at a point where, here such notifications, just imagine like if we receive our power bill or our water bill like this on WhatsApp, and we pay it then and there. So it's all about making our making these journeys very convenient and simple for users, and hence the department is also happy because all these problem areas which have been running for a while now can be tackled easily with such solutions. With this, I will end this presentation, and these are some snapshots. Do feel free to us to know more. I'll end it here. Thank you. Over to you, Krishna ji.
Yeah, thank you, Shraddha. Quite well presented your array of solutions for the water and power sector. Now, let me bring in here Mr. P.K. Jain, Chief Engineer Planning in Delhi Jal Board. A brief introduction of P.K. Jain. P.K. Jain started as an assistant engineer in Delhi Jal Board in 1989. And since then, he has worked in different capacities in the organization, such as construction, maintenance of water and sewer, etc., etc. Jain currently handles the responsibilities of planning and design cell of Delhi Jal Board. In addition, he is also involved with metering and PPP projects in Delhi Jal Board. So, Shraddha, we'll be having a fireside chat with Mr. P.K. Jain. Over to you, Shraddha.
Hello, very good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon to all.
Good to have you here, sir. And it's been a pleasure to work with Delhi Jal Board as well. Straight away, because we have timing, so straight away moving on to questions.
Yeah.
Sir, just want to understand how does, what does customer centricity mean for Delhi Jal Board? And how have you seen it changing during the pandemic? Like, is there any big change that you've witnessed during this time?
Yeah, good afternoon to all. See, gone are the days when consumers queued up for their billing and payments. Most organizations use a wide range of online channels from their website to mobile chat and blogs to connect with their current and prospective consumers and other stakeholders. Now, DJB is a utility sector, and all the endeavors are being made for a practical communication with its consumer to their best possible satisfaction. We are presently in labs. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Can be a little louder also, if possible.
So an app was introduced called M-Seva on DJB for billing and the grievance redressal. All the consumers can directly upload their meter reading or their photographs on this, and instantly there will be a billing on their app, and they can directly pay through any e-mode. So this is very convenient to good step taken by DJB. And next, for water billing and sanction of applications, etc., are also available on DJB portal. So everything which are related with consumers are now online and to their satisfaction. And then after COVID period, the consumers want to resolve all its problems from their homes. Therefore, these are now popular and extensively used by the consumers. So after COVID, they are very popular now. And in our offices, there are hardly any people coming right now.
Yes, I get the message completely. And today, when people want and expect to have the opportunity to communicate with business, in this case, any utility, where they really want to talk to the organization for anything and everything. So
Yeah.
right from like initiating the chat to resolution, we just wanted to understand how has DJB converted it. I understand there was a app also released. So what is the communication pattern that you've been following for citizens?
We need to exchange all relevant informations. Online facilities are extensively used by the consumers. There is a facility when a consumer can also register its mobile number with the department, and all informations like any disruptions or no water supply hours shall be exchanged with him through SMS. All live information on tanker movements. There are more than 1,000 tankers with DJB. Is also available through GPS installation with every consumer, whosoever book them and give their telephone number. So it's a very good online facility when they can check their tanker availability as well. Any consumer can also request on WhatsApp to the concerned officer regarding water leakage, request for tanker or any problem, or regarding solving any grievance. So these things are extensively used by the consumers now.
Great, sir. So thank you for sharing that. And now coming to like some questions very specific to the WhatsApp chatbot in the making. For utility sector, with the launch of new digital products and services, depending on participation on contribution of partners like us and others too, of course. How do you think InfoWeb and WhatsApp contributed to the successful digital transformation with respect to the grievance chatbot we're going to launch for Jal Board?
Yes, see, the Legal Board is a big network of consumers, now in lakhs. So we need to apply all the digital information, like it may be WhatsApp, it may be anything. So as of now, we rely on online portal facility, WhatsApp exchange and request. As I just said, the M-Seva app was introduced. It's a for mobile registration, etc. In the last 1 year, all the consumers are using these facilities, and WhatsApp is being extensively used by all the consumers. WhatsApp is a facility which almost all people use now. Almost all, I think 99.99%, I can say.
Yes, sir. With you.
It's extensively used by all the public. And all the numbers are exchanged and available on DJB portal. So they really they have direct access on WhatsApp to all the officers concerned.
And sir, like in continuation to this, what were your expectations from the team while such collaborations happen? To create such citizen interfacing tool. For example, whether it is M-Seva or chatbot. So what are your expectations, while we do this? Do you look for a very good customer experience journey that, we can help you with, or the M-Seva team or the app? So we just want to hear about this.
As I just said, it's all endeavors are being made for their satisfaction of consumer, because it plays a very vital role in any organization. So we are using M-Seva, but we are still trying to use the latest technologies like InfoBeep or WhatsApp chatbot. So in DJB, we have created a cell, electronic data processing cell. They are in fact engaging some consultants for all these methods. So we are very open to use all these techniques. So everybody is welcome to, if they can introduce such methods to DJB.
Thank you so much, sir. And last one for the evening, because keeping an eye on the timing. Sir, what's next on the radar for Delhi Jal Board, for improving customer experience?
Yeah, the consumers are really interested in using all sorts of things, all sorts of online payments, all sorts of any app is welcome now. In fact, they do it from their home only. So any latest technique like InfoBeep or whatever is welcome. So we would like to introduce them very shortly.
Definitely, sir. Thank you so much. And, it was a great insight for all of us. It's been a pleasure working with Delhi Jal Board, and we hope the people of Delhi really, start using the app, and they're already receiving notifications, for their bills, and also hopefully this will really go well. And thank you so much for your time today and sharing such insightful, details about the organization. Look forward to meeting you again, sir. Thank you so much.
Sure, you are welcome.
Thank you.
So that was Shraddha Thapa from Infovip in conversation with PK Jain, Chief Engineer Planning, Delhi Jal Board. So we look forward to more such partnerships between WhatsApp, Infovip, and different other utilities, not only restricted to Delhi Jal Board, but to rest of the country as well. Now, taking forward the discussions of today's webinar, time now for the interactive panel discussion. The topic of the discussion would be transforming citizen experience through digital technology. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Debashish Sarkar, Managing Director, Tripura State Electricity Corporation. Mr. Debashish Sarkar. Debashish Sarkar would be joined by Yogesh Kumar, Director Commercial, Madhyanchal Vidyut Vitaran Nigam, a government of UP undertaking. Joining them would be Prashad Reshme, Director Projects, Maharashtra State Electricity Distribution Company Limited. Other panelists of this discussion would be Amarnath Pal, General Manager, Information Technology, West Bengal Power Development Corporation Limited. Praveen Kumar Guru, General Manager, Technical and Planning, Madhya Pradesh Jal Nigam. And from the industry side, from WhatsApp India, we have Tushar Bhalla, Strategic Partner Manager. This program would be moderated by Shobik Das, Strategic Accounts and Partnership Manager, India, Bangladesh, and Sri Lanka, Infovip. Over to you, Shobik.
Thank you, Krishna. Hello and good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us today to witness this panel discussion with our distinguished guests. Before we begin, I think we must acknowledge the excellent work that Delhi Jal Board is doing by using technology to bring consumers closer to the services rendered and empowering them. Our discussion ahead will delve deeper on these pertaining questions. And the topic that we'll be pricking the brains of our panelists is facilitating simple, seamless digital access to citizen services, communication, engagement, experience. The application of information technology for delivering public services is not only bringing a greater convenience, but additionally empowering the citizens. By adopting digital-first approach, PSUs are not only ensuring good governance, but also making their services more citizen-oriented, responsive, and accessible. The shift in the focus has been on aspects like communication, engagement, and experience, thus transforming citizen interaction lifecycle digitally. Without ado, we'll begin on this, with the opening question. So over to you, Mr. Debashish Sarkar. So, sir, the question to you would be, what has been your experience in rendering tech-driven services to consumers in Tripura? Do you see a shift in attitude towards using technology while interacting with the government?
Good afternoon to all. This is basically the need of the hour. As you rightly pointed out, this using of digital technology for the consumer's convenience is basically the need of the hour, and every utility is now transforming to this attitude from the right from your consumers request 2 points. One is from the service point of view regarding the supply availability, supply related issue. They want the digital interactions and constant feedback. For these, what we have been introduced, we have introduced our automated call 1912 centralized call centers with fault tracking system for our fault repairing center, so that we can, once the call has been registered, we can directly feed our fault repairing team through GIS mapping, GIS tracking, and so that the call can be attended at the fastest possible time. And also what we have introduced through one of our mobile app, we are encouraging the people to log their complaint through WhatsApp also. Even the phone line is not available, because this is the common complaint from the local consumers. If there is a huge flow of calls, the call line becomes blocked, and they will not get the they cannot connect to the call centers, and they cannot log their complaints. So this is the common complaint received from the consumers. So in spite of our call center introduction, this type of complaint continuously flows in. So what we have introduced, we have started taking calls through WhatsApp, also through our mobile app, where the consumers, if the not available through the phone, can log the complaint through the our mobile billing app, where there is options of call logging, so that that call will be automatically logged to our 1912 complaint center, so that they can that the same complaint will be logged without giving any phone call. So this is the first benefit we are giving for the consumers. Another thing we have recently introduced is a prepaid meterings. For the prepaid meterings, what we are introducing, and we are also through prepaid meterings, we are also encouraging the online recharging facility. So basic aim is to avoid the consumers visit to the subdivision office and division office to the minimum. That is our target, and for this we have introduced this prepaid metering with online recharging facility, so that the consumers, instead of postpaid metering, can make their program, can make their availability planning of the power availability, and then make the recharging as per their convenience, instead of the regular monthly billing. So when suppose a consumer is not available for a month, he can jolly well keep that meter as it is conditioned without any recharging. So that is absolutely now at the consumer's convenience, and they can recharge it through our normal medias of recharging. So they do not have to visit to the subdivision office for the recharging. So this is the facility we are giving for the prepaid consumers. And as you all know, through our centralized RDSA scheme, central government has directed all the utilities to install prepaid smart meters. So we have to go for a prepaid smart metering, where the consumers can have a total picture of the total consumption pattern, history, how they can reduce their consumption, how they can plan their consumption. So everything is available on their fingertips. So that needs to be implemented very shortly. It is a directive from the central government, and we all state utilities are working on it. As far as the billing and collection issues is concerned, we have introduced mobile billing with spot billing mechanism, where there was a concept of photo billing. So photo billing basically gives us the clarity and brings the transparency in the billing system, because this is a common complaint. So your billing is high. There was no billing has been done on the actual average basis, without the actual billing. So it basically creates the grievances of the consumers. To redress these issues, we have started giving photo billing concept and spot billing at the site, so that the consumer have the clarity regarding their consumptions, and they, if any query, that can be settled at site itself also. And also we have introduced the mobile billing app, where they can pay online through this consumption bill. So from the complaint perspective, from the billing perspective, both of these, we are introducing the digital technology, so that the consumers have to avoid the office visit to the minimum. That is our target, and we are working on it. Thank you.
Thanks, Debashish sir, on that insightful, comments. In fact, it's good to see, at the grassroots levels, even though given the geographical distance of Tripura, so much good work has been done. Moving on to the other side, my next question would be to Mr. Praveen Kumar. Sir, how has technology aided MP Jal Nigam in rolling out schemes for the masses, connecting people, gathering feedback, and improving service delivery?
I'm Praveen Kumar. I'm looking after planning in Madhya Pradesh Jal Nigam. Previously, planning a multi-village, we are executing multi-village schemes based on surface source. one scheme consists of say 100 to 1000 or 1500 villages. So the size of the scheme is very large. The size of a scheme depends upon the capacity available in the source. So previously, while we used to think of preparing a scheme for around 1000 or 1500 village, this used to take around 2 to 3 years to complete prepare a DPR after doing detailed survey. Now with the help of technology like DGPS and Total Station, the survey is done very quickly, and we can prepare the DPR within a time period of 6 to 8 months. So the technology has considerably reduced the time for preparation or conceptualization of the projects. That is number one. And another thing, while we design the project, analyzing a pipe network of 1000 villages or 1500 villages is a Herculean task. Without the help of technology like EPANET or WaterGems software, whatever softwares are available, this was not possible to think of analyzing a network of 1000 lines. So the technology has really helped a lot. During construction, we monitor the online progress, number one, and we have got a works monitoring app. That is very helpful in looking after the work. One general manager sitting in the PIU, means district level, can monitor work of approximately 500 to 800 villages comfortably. Without the technology, or around 5 to 10 years back, we cannot think of even this thing. One executive can supervise the works being done at 500 villages or 800 villages. So the technology has really helped in this sector, and we are able to push our works and do the water supply works quite rapidly. And since the targets in Jal Jeevan Mission is 2024, the technology is the only technology which is helping us to achieve that targets.
Thank you, sir. That was actually quite, introspecting, and in fact, good to see that technology has helped bring speed to the scale, because the scale what you're talking about is simply mind blowing. So it's amazing to hear on the good work that you and your team are doing out there. So moving on to our next panelist and question, this one goes to Mr. Yogesh Kumar. So comparing the means of communication between the citizen and a government department from now to say 5 years ago, what has been the most innovative and new channels that you have been able to adopt in UP? What are the initiatives that you think need to be adopted to bridge the gap between government and the citizens?
Thanks to all, and good evening. Basically, we are trying to connect the people for solutions, end-to-end solution. Means we are giving the supply to the consumers, and consumer is starting from the new connections to the using of the electricity and bill payment. All we are providing all solutions through the different ways. So main technology we are adopted is the 1912, that means call centers our. Next is the SMS. We are sending the SMS to the all consumers for as well as payment plus use plus disconnection date and disconnection time. ETG, yes, all these things. We are also sending the mails to the consumer. And also we have the two major portion of this part. That is the portal and mobile application. Our portal, UPPCL portal and mobile application. A part of this, we are also sending the messages with interactive messages through the WhatsApp, by which consumer can collect their bill, apart the payment details and all other things. In our portals and mobile application, consumer can register their by through their account number and get the every information related to consumer itself. That means from the starting of the consumer, means when the consumer apply the connection for the electricity, then he get the account ID, and from that time he can track his application, he can track his other connection release date, and everything he can track after the release of the connection, we have the mobile application and portal by which the consumer can get their details. Details means the consumption details, payment details, history, and a part of this consumer can lodge the complaints. So we have tried that the everything that can facilitate the consumer may be given through the all these communication means. Maybe one thing is not applicable through the one means, but we have tried that the every facility that consumer can think we can give through the communication, so that the one interaction between consumer and utilities is made. If proper communication is between consumer and utility is perfect, then the consumer satisfaction is growing up and consumer is satisfied, and we have the happy consumer and satisfied consumer. So interaction through multiple type of means is must for successful of utility and consumer satisfaction. Thank you.
Thank you, Yogesh, sir. It's actually quite absorbing to see how your department is bringing the consumer closer to you and finding out various ways and means using technology to make lives easier for them. So now I would like to move to the other side and would want to invite Mr. Tushar to see the perspective from the other side, from WhatsApp side. So my question to Tushar would be, how have you seen WhatsApp and government entities working together to solve citizen engagement?
Hi, Shovik. Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here among such august audience. Thank you. So just to answer your question, in the past 1.5 years to 2 years, what WhatsApp has done is clearly establish the sort of channel that can deliver citizen to government queries and government to citizen outreach, right? So anything to connect a normal citizen to the government entity, whether it's a power company, whether it's a central ministry, whether it's a municipality, we've been able to demonstrate time and time again that it is easier if we focus on the top 4 or 5 things that we can solve for the citizen and have it accessible on WhatsApp, right? So in our experience of about 2 years of working with government, and I lead the government business for WhatsApp, what we've seen is that some of the use cases like MyGov use case, right? If I can highlight that for a second, we've seen about 35 million certificates, COVID certificates being downloaded onto WhatsApp, right? If I go to the airport, I see that in use, right? Because accessing it through maybe a CoWIN was difficult for citizens. Booking appointments, we did about 3 million bookings of dosages back then on the MyGov thing. And then we've slowly transitioned it from a COVID to a non-COVID to actually a citizen bot. So you can now access your DigiLocker certificates on the MyGov bot. So if you have certificates which are already there on DigiLocker, you can go ahead and download your PAN card, your driving license, your Aadhaar card on WhatsApp itself. So no more login, re-login, authenticating. If you have it on your WhatsApp, you just need to go to the MyGov bot and open it, right? One of the other things that we saw really working with the government is the grievance redressal. Every government website has a grievance redressal mechanism, and I think it's everybody is exploring what is the best way to do it. It's traditionally being done with, the popular sort of communication models like an email, and people have experimented and entities have experimented even with voice bots. But we're now starting to see that grievance redressals actually work on WhatsApp effectively. We also saw that sometimes when there is confusion or sometimes where you need information dissemination, you need a voice which holds or you need a channel which holds some sort of an authentication. So a green tick that you get on a WhatsApp. So we've seen that the government to citizen outreach really works. So for instance, for example, if a particular area in Delhi were to have water distribution affected on a particular date in a particular pin code, that message, when it reaches from Mr. Jain's office with a green tick, has much more impact than any other source, right? And it also, because you are starting your day with the WhatsApp application and you ending your day with WhatsApp, right? So your life essentially revolves around it. So if a message is delivered, it is obvious that it is coming from a authentic source, which is a green tick and has a weightage attached to it. Another quick example that I'd like to highlight is the ability of the platform to actually capture location-based services, right? So if I were to report, let's say, potholes on my stretch of roads, if I were to report garbage, or if there was a dengue season in a particular state and somebody had to report, let's say, standing water, he could just click a picture and send it to the bot. And what it does, it actually captures the longitude and latitude, which tells exactly the government entity to which location it is, so that a team can be assigned and resolved it, right? So those are some of the use cases, I think, that have been really effective from a citizen to government and government to citizen engagement.
Thanks, Tushar. That was quite insightful. In fact, if you look at it, for a populous and diverse country like ours, where at times it becomes very difficult for the government to reach the common citizens and vice versa, we all are using WhatsApp, and we can say that, it's taking that one connection more, one message at a time. So thanks. And we hope, WhatsApp keeps up the good work in terms of getting new technologies for everyone to make their life a little bit better. Now, moving on to, the other side of the table, I would request Amarnath Paul, sir, to answer the next question. So how effective do you think is the communication with the citizens, and what needs to be done to be improved, to improve it?
Good afternoon to all. At first, I want to thank Elets Technomedia for inviting me to this webinar, where I have this great opportunity to hear experts. See, we are a power generating company. We have no direct consumer as such, but definitely our work has a role in determining the cost of generation, and that is impacting the citizens. We are during the pandemic, we are going through digital transformation in number of areas, particularly for operation technology. We are implementing plant intelligence system, which will improve our efficiency. It is a mainly server-based system. All our plants will send information through Ethernet to a central server located at corporate office, where this data will be analyzed, stored, and action will be taken based on the historical observations. Another area is in our IT area, we are doing going for the shifting of our entire SAP, which is ERP. Basically, it is an enterprise resource planning ERP to cloud-based ERP. And also present ERP system is SAP ECC 6.0. From that to SAP S4 HANA, which will give us better business intelligence and display of various parameters. Coming to your question, see, there is no alternative to communication. And we have to use every avenue of communication like WhatsApp, SMS, email, call center, and other social media also. WBACDCL, our counterpart who are directly deal with the citizens, they have this mobile app for citizens. It is named Bidyut Sahajogi, and this is extensively used for logging travel, for payment of bills, etc., and other applications, other breakdown reportings. This thing.
Thank you, Manath sir. In fact, that was quite insightful knowing the work you guys are doing in the background so that, power reaches every citizen. Moving ahead, my last question would be from our PSU in Maharashtra, Mr. Prasad. So what is the level of readiness among people and the workforce in adopting innovative solutions to ease communication?
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. This is Prasad Reshme. I'm working as a director project in MSEDCL. So MSEDCL or Mahavitran is a state-owned leading power distribution company, having the consumer base of around 28 million. And we are the pioneer in IT implementation in power sector. Probably we are working in this background since 2013 or 14. So our first mobile app came in 2015. All are in-house prepared IT systems and mobile applications. So the various consumer services we offer to our consumers are, one is the mobile application for consumers, where consumer can avail all the services like he can view and pay his electric bill, which is the most important thing presently required to have a good collection efficiency in this distribution business. Then he can register, track the complaints. He can apply for new connections. He can get all the feedbacks like acceptance of his application for new connection till release of the connection. All feedbacks are sent back to the consumers. Then second one is the web self services. So our dedicated portal is created for the entire state, and where consumer can avail all these facilities. If he do not have the mobile app, he can directly log into our website and he can avail all these facilities like view and pay, payment of the bills, new applications, load enhancement, and all the applications, all the services which are required by the consumer from distribution utility are offered through this online portal to the consumer. The second most important feature here we give is the SMS alert on every occasion. Like if our meter reader goes to the consumer premises, so before going of the meter reader, before he reaches to the consumer get advance notification that on particular date meter reader is going to visit his premises. Then after reading of the meter by the meter reader, the notification is given to the consumer that your meter has been read on such and such date with this much of the reading and this much of the consumption, and tentative bill for this month would be this and this. So this advance information we are giving to the consumers. Then generation of the bill, information of generation of the bill, then due date of the bill, and even if he skips the bill or if he don't pay the bill in time, the disconnection notice also been served on the SMS. So these are the facilities of SMS alerts are given to the consumers. Moreover, for the new service connections, the application stages are also informed, as I said earlier. Then email notification provision is also there. Further, for the consumers in our Maharashtra, if they go for the Go Green facility, means if he don't opt the physical electricity bills, then 10 rupees discount per bill is given to the consumer. And many of the consumers have adopted this Go Green facility in Maharashtra. Then online payment facility, which is also important, is given. Anywhere payment facilities adopted by MSDCL. Like a man sitting in Mumbai can pay his bill in Nagpur. So this facility is already available. All the platforms are available. Bharat Bill Payment, NEFT, RTGS, and other online platforms are available for the payment of these electricity bills. Then complaint registration, which is the important part of this IT innovative, where consumer can register their complaint through mobile app or consumer portal. And even missed call facility is also given. Just giving the missed call, he can be contacted back by our call center. So all these mobile applications are or complaint registration facilities are linked with the other government facilities like Aple Sarkar in Maharashtra. So if any complaint is available on Aple Sarkar, so that will be automatically transferred to MSEDCL website and MSEDCL will take care of that complaint. Then complaint received on social media are also, especially on Facebook and Twitter, they are also being taken care by MSEDCL, and prompt resolution of this complaint is being checked by our officials. Then various consumer interactions are done through social media. So this facility is also available. Furthermore, there are some other portals are also prepared. Like MSEDCL has implemented a large scheme of off-grid solar pumps in Maharashtra. So off-grid solar pumps, but still they are connected through technology. So the consumption of every solar pump can be monitored through IT systems, and for that purpose, one mobile application and one online portal is prepared. So for renewable power obligation purpose, we can book this consumption to the regulator and we get the RPO obligations fulfilled. Then for the rooftop solar also, we have developed a full-fledged online portal where consumer can apply online and he can get the services from MSEDCL promptly. So in short, the use of this IT innovations and technology for the MSEDCL has helped us in reduction in the downtime of the system. We can provide good services to the consumers. This has not only given the consumer satisfaction, but moved the consumer to the delightment. Then improved services has given us an improved recovery. So our efficiency is improving day by day, and our, as you say, the technical losses are also improving, because these all interventions are doing means human-free services we are doing with the help of technology. Then there are very little disputes in the billing, as you know, because billing is a major issue and disputes are there. So we have reduced disputes to less than 1%. Then one step for this technological advancement in the field of operation is SCADA. So through SCADA, we have operating some 8 towns in Maharashtra, which are fully automatic work, and automatic fault finding is also done. So downtime in SCADA villages, SCADA towns is still low as compared to other areas. So I think these are the various IT initiatives taken by MSEDCL, and we are constantly upgrading our services towards the consumer and fulfilling our commitment towards the consumer. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Prasad. Sir, in fact, it is heartening to see and really interesting to see the way MSEDCL has been pioneer in adopting technology and actually using the technology to improve the lives of the citizens. In fact, the Go Green initiative is, I think, something which is really novel, which will have long-term, implications, and that is something which can be emulated by other PSUs also. Before we are towards the end of our session today, and before we wrap up, there is one question which I would ask all of you panelists, and maybe 30 seconds you can answer in no particular order. So what kind of digital initiatives do you see being implemented in your organization in the next 2 to 3 years? And that would signify a digital transformation that you're looking forward to. So Mr. Yogesh, you can begin.
Yeah. Actually, we are taking a multiple type of initiative. preliminary initiative is about the smart meter. As all of us knows that the government has initiated to install the smart meter in all type of consumers in the whole of the country. So next step which is we are using to analyze the data. For analysis of data, we are running a pilot project about AI. By using the AI, we are going to calculate multiple type of work. Firstly, we theft detection. Second is the energy efficiency. That means we are going to tell the consumer that this particular equipment. Firstly, by AI, we are finding that the consumer is using what type of equipment in their premises, and then we are going to tell that this type of equipment is not energy efficient. So you can change this equipment by the energy efficient equipment. By this way, we are going to save the energy to the nation as well as to consumers. And thirdly, we are going to implement the TOU based tariff by using the electric, all this stuff electric. That means in future, we are going to multiple type of tariff like wind, solar, and by taking the experience of AI and behavior of consumer, by which behavior consumer using energy at their premises and equipment, we are going to design a tariff. For designing of TOU-based tariff, also we are having a study which is going on. Most probably in a year, we will be in the position to design a tariff for TOU type. This is we are going to implement it next year.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Devashish Sarkar.
As has been told previously, the smart metering is coming in a big way to all utilities. So smart metering is the common for all the utilities. As far as the TACCL is concerned, we are planning for the implementation of ERP for the 3 modules, finance module, HRM module, as well as the material management module. So it will have a better transparency and the proper documentation. As well as through our ADB project, we are implementing the asset mapping and GIS tracking of all our individual assets, so that it will help us to identify all our assets, and for future addition or deletion of any assets, it can be properly documented. So these are the 3 basic steps we are planning for the coming 2 years, so that have a more better operational, to improve the operational efficiency of the utility as well as for the consumers' convenience. These are the 3 main steps we are taking in the upcoming 2 years. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Praveen Kumar.
At present, all our schemes are having a SCADA system that is for monitoring of the functioning of the schemes. But after 2 years, we see our consumer base of more than 60 lakh consumers. So we'll be having a very strong communication system with the consumer. That can be a chatbot or something like that. At present, we are working with a portal, but the consumer base now is very small as compared to the, as we look after 2 years, this will be more than 60 lakhs. So we'll be having a strong communication system with the consumers. And similarly, the payment system, collection of payment, as Maharashtra Electricity Board is having, we shall also be having a strong, maybe WhatsApp based or something of that ease, that system which will provide the same ease we'll be having. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Praveen. Mr. Amarnath Pal.
Yes. Recently, we have already done one exercise for bringing all the plant generations at corporate level, real-time basis for monitoring and storing this. And also we have developed one mobile app so that all our engineers or concerned persons can have access to the movement of cold rakes, oil rakes, and also that generation of each and every unit. This is a major achievement we have done a few months back, when our mobile app was also selected as best app by ASSOCHAM a months back. And what I have already mentioned, that process intelligence system, we have already placed order for process intelligence system. It will bring all the plant parameters at corporate level for storing, analyzing, and data analytics will be there in that application. It will empower our engineers and operators and accelerate work decision making, right?
Thank you, sir. Mr. Prasad Reshme, your closing thoughts?
Yeah. So the future initiatives for MSDCL has all agreed that central government RDSS scheme has given us the target of around 25 million smart meters. So that would be our first step. Then provision of artificial intelligence and using the special tools like load forecasting, power planning, because it is also necessary for giving good services and for giving 24 hours power supply to the consumers. Then SCADA, presently we are having in 8 cities, but we would like to extend this to 21 cities in Maharashtra, which we have considered in our RDSS scheme. And other areas where SCADA system is not possible, substation monitoring is a system we are going to do, where all the substations data will be available at our Mumbai head office and we can monitor the loading on these substations. So these are our future plans for the new innovative technologies in our systems. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. In fact, lovely insights from each and everyone. And I think, going ahead, once these are put into place, it will bring the services even closer to the citizens. Distinguished guests and participants, I would like to thank you on behalf of Infoweb for being part of this wonderful forum, where we explored the sweet spot between public services and the citizen experience. It is indeed my pleasure to moderate this August panel. Thank you everyone, and have a great day ahead. Over to you, Krishna.
Thank you, Shobik, for this great moderation. It was a very powerful panel comprising 6 speakers, and yet you were able to manage on time. We discussed upon a range of issues, how the technology has got the potential to transform the entire paradigm of communication between the various public sector utilities as well as the customer at large. The need of the hour is to provide a delightful consumer experience, and what are the steps being taken by the different power and water utilities in order to enhance the overall consumer experience. We had some real discussions in this panel discussion. Before I actually close this discussion, I can see some questions on the screen. If I can, because of paucity of time, we have already overshot the limit by 10 minutes, but still I will take the liberty of taking another 5 minutes. 1 or 2 questions, if I can pick up. I see a question. Although we had seen case studies being explained in detail by Tushar Bhalla from WhatsApp, he spoke about the MyGov bot, how WhatsApp in collaboration with the Government of India has been making any communication effectively through the MyGov bot, with COVID, with COVID, or grievance redressal, or DigiLocker. Still, there is a question from one gentleman, S.N. Pandey. How have you seen WhatsApp and government entities to solve consumer interaction? Tushar, maybe would you like to elaborate this question? Would you like to take this question? How have you seen WhatsApp and government entities to solve customer interaction? Tushar is still around? Well, I move on. There is one more question here. It is specifically for the Delhi Jal Board. What is next on the radar of Delhi Jal Board to increase customer experience? Mr. Jain? Engineer Ghanshyam Mishra is asking, what is next on the radar of Delhi Jal Board to increase the consumer experience? an open question from one Deepak Pandit. What are the end-to-end solutions provided by the department to bridge the gap between the government and citizens? End-to-end solutions provided by the department to bridge the gap between government and services. Maybe Yogesh Kumar wants to answer this question.
Yeah.
Yogesh ji?
Which question, please?
एक दीपक पंडित जी ने सवाल पूछा है, what are the end-to-end solutions provided by the department to bridge the gap between government and citizens?
Okay.
I don't know, it is an open-ended question, so I just randomly threw
Yeah.
this to you.
No. End-to-end solution means a consumer from the starting day one, from the consumer taking the new connections, apply for new connection, to the consumer using electricity, doing payment, doing complaints. All these solutions are inbuilt in our mobile applications. Basically, end-to-end solution means this, with analysis also.
Okay. When L. Shiva Kumar is there, he's asking what are the facilities you are providing to the consumers to ease the process of complaints? Prashad Deshme, would you like to answer? Facilities you are providing in Maharashtra to ease the process of complaint management.
So complaint management, as I said earlier in my talk, that mobile application is already there, but on every electricity bill, we give our toll-free number. So instantly consumer can call to the toll-free number, and on registration of this complaint, immediate assignment of this complaint is done. The complaint goes to the concerned official, and if that official do not redress this complaint within a stipulated time, it is escalated to his next higher authority, and this escalation matrix is already there. So I think we have the faster complaint redressal arrangement in Maharashtra, and we are implementing it on it.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Reshme. Rest all the questions have
Krishna ji,
already been answered. Yes, Shraddha, you would
Krishna
like
ji,
to
if
add
you
on?
allow, maybe I can answer the question by Mr. S.N. Pandey.
Mhm.
You calling out Tushar, so maybe I'll pick that up. So the
Yeah.
question is, for the benefit of audience, how have you seen WhatsApp and government entities solve customer interaction? So, like Tushar had also mentioned, we've seen that grievance seems to be an issue, and even with especially with respect to utility sector, we've seen even things like new connection or maybe payment of bill. So basically, these are popular use cases where utility sector, from the feedback I have, of course, felt that, there could be a digital intervention. So these are the touch points where, a channel like WhatsApp, which has huge coverage, of course, and besides coverage, it has, it is a very simple channel. So any age group can access it well. So, probably that's where these two things meet. So if on such a simple channel, services like these are provided, it's the perfect solution. So we have seen this adopted by many utility companies. So that would be my answer. Thank you.
Thank you, Shraddha. Thank you. In fact, we have almost now overshot the time limit given to us. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Krishna Mishra here from Eles Tech Media. The topic of this discussion, transforming consumer experience through digital technologies. We discussed a host of issues, a host of opportunities also in the power and utility sector. We discussed the power of technology, how technology can transform and help us in bridging the gap between the consumer and the governments. The utility sector is a very complex sector. There are thousands and lakhs of consumers. Reaching out to lakhs of consumers at one point of time and addressing to their grievances in an effective manner. So this what some of the points we have discussed. We'll keep on doing such more dialogues in the future. We had also discussed how the gap between citizen and government can be further lessened with the with the acceleration of technologies in all aspects of the utilities. Before we conclude, I would request my backend team for the customary token of appreciation for all the speakers. This certificate of appreciation for Shraddha Thapa, Regional Head Government and OTT Partnerships Infobip, Thank you, Shraddha. We had with us Yogesh Kumar from Madhyanchal Vidyut Vitaran Nigam, MVVNL, Director Commercial in Government of Uttar Pradesh undertaking. Thank you, Yogesh. The certificate for PK Jain, Chief Engineer Planning, Delhi Jal Board, a very insightful fireside discussion with PK Jain from Delhi Jal Board and Shraddha Thapa from Infobip. Next, we had Amarnath Pal from West Bengal Power Development Corporation. Amarnath is working there as General Manager, Information Technology. Thank you, Amarnath. Tushar Bhalla, the lead government business from WhatsApp India, gave a very interesting insight on how WhatsApp has been making the lives of a consumer easy by partnering with governments at its scale, which is very, very imaginative. And Devashish Sarkar, Managing Director, Tripura State Electricity Corporation, who not only shed light on what the corporation is doing at present, but also what the corporation intends to do in times to come. Thank you, Devashish. And finally, we had Prashad Reshme, Director Projects, Maharashtra State Electricity Distribution Company Limited. Thank you, Mr. Prashad Reshme. Praveen Kumar Guru, one of the persons from the water utility segment, General Manager Technology, Technical and Planning. Thank you, Mr. Praveen Kumar Guru. And finally, Shobik Das, Strategic Accounts and Partnership Manager, India, Bangladesh, and Sri Lanka in Infobip, who had moderated this discussion in a very effective and efficient way. With this, we conclude this session. Let me inform you, this is an ongoing dialogue being partnered by Elets Technomedia along with Infobip and WhatsApp. Will continue to empower, will continue to enlighten the citizens by disseminating greater awareness on what is happening in the fields of innovations in governance. Thank you. Bye-bye. Namaskar.
Thank you, Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.